Danny here, coming to you from the den. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. WandaVision, Season 1, Episode 5. What an emotional roller coaster. This episode was going back and forth between what was going on in Westview with Wanda and Vision, and then what was going on with Sword and Monica and Agent Wu and Darcy. So we're gonna go ahead and do a quick recap because there's a lot I want to go over. There's a lot of questions that this episode brought, and then oh my god, that ending. The episode started again, with Wanda and Vision having their little sitcom routine. You have the kids crying and they're trying to adapt to parenthood, and then Wanda's wishing for help, hoping for help, and lo and behold, she gets it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So after the intro, we see Monica. They're doing a CAT scan on her. They're running some tests. The CAT scan came back blank, so what's up with that, right? But we then get a quick interaction between Monica, Darcy, and Agent Wu. And Monica wants to go back inside Westview, and she wants to be able to help Wanda out. She wants to figure out what is going on here. Agent Wu asks about the twins. Who are they? Monica says, oh, those are her kids. They're not fake, they're not made up, like those are her children. And Darcy mentions that for her to be able to create things the way they think, there's a lot of power there, power that she's never displayed before. And Monica goes on to say she pretty much had Thanos against the ropes. If it wasn't that he called the Blitz, she probably could have taken him out. Nobody came as close as she did. And Agent Wu says, I think Captain Marvel came pretty close. And you see that look on Monica's face, and she kind of dismisses it. But then Darcy asks, well, didn't she get her powers also from an Infinity Stone? And Monica responds by saying, we're not talking about her, we're talking about Wanda. And we just kind of go off from there. But it was very odd that Monica didn't want to hear about Captain Marvel. Is she upset? Maria Rambeau did die from cancer. We know that Captain Marvel never disappeared. She didn't get snapped away. So is there some resentment there? However, I do want to point out that this isn't the only occurrence where you see someone responding in almost a resentful way. If you go back to Far From Home, you see when Peter Parker mentions Captain Marvel, Nick Fury says, don't invoke her name.
Captain Marvel.
Don't invoke her name.
So we know by the end of that movie, Talos had shape-shifted as Nick Fury. So is there something more going on with Captain Marvel that we'll see in her movie later on? I feel like they've been planting some seeds there. But moving on, Monica is trying to figure out how to get back inside. She makes another comment where she says, oh, I may know an aerospace engineer that can help me. She texts someone. That's what I'm going to talk about at the end of this video as to who I think she could have reached out to. Theory, fun theory, but let's see, who knows. Also want to point out how the kids grow up, and Agnes doesn't question that. She just rolls with it. Later on, the twins end up getting a dog, and guess what? She shows up with a doghouse, exactly what they needed. And then Agnes is the one who ends up finding Sparky dead. It's not just the nosy neighbor anymore. Is she trying to wake up Vision, right? Is she trying to get Vision to see, hey, there's more going on? Vision is now questioning things. We also get that scene where he's at work and they're setting up the new computers and they're talking about electronic mail, and he's talking with Norm, and as they set up the email, they see this message from Darcy talking about radiation and the Maximoff anomaly. And for a moment there, he unlocks Norm's mind, and you see Norm scared and in pain, and he's like, make her stop, she's in my head, I haven't seen my family, I want to call them. And Vision sees how freaked out he is, and he just kind of snaps him back into this new life that they're all living in Westview. We see later on where all of these revelations for Vision are leading. Now, while Vision is at work, you have Wanda speaking with the twins. They're showing Sparky some tricks, and they want to show Vision, but Wanda's telling them, oh, he's at work. And the kids are like, well, wait a minute, wasn't it Saturday this morning? Wanda's like, no, it's Monday. Is Wanda losing track of time? Is Wanda losing track of what's going on in Westview? There's a lot that she's trying to control. But at that moment, they hear a sound outside. Wanda goes out there and she sees that there's a drone. Monica and Darcy and Jimmy Woo were speaking about, well, can we send something in there that doesn't require to be changed? Because they realized that Wanda is changing things. It's like this transmutation. When Monica went into Westview, she went in with her Kevlar and it was then transformed into that 70s getup. And when they ran the test on Geraldine's / Monica's outfit, it was, I think, 80-something% Kevlar. And we have to see to what extent she's altering reality. But they go in with the drone, Monica's controlling it, she's trying to speak to Wanda, but guess what? Hayward had a little plan on the side, and they, I guess, shoot at Wanda. How dare they? I think that's worse than Geraldine questioning Wanda in episode 3.
Oh, Wanda, don't be like that.
That's when the alarms go off and they run outside. There's a breach and you see as Wanda's coming through the barrier and she's dragging the drone and she just tosses it, and you see how all the sword agents, they're aiming their guns at her, but she's like super nonchalant about it. I mean, she's not even fazed by it. And Monica goes in to talk to her. She's like, listen, let me help you. When I came into Westview, out of all the people there, you chose me to help deliver your children. So to some extent, you trust me. What is it that you want? I already have what I want. You people just need to back up and stay away. And at that very moment, she just controls all of the agents' mind. They point their guns at Hayward. Everybody's freaking out. Wanda just turns around, creates a much larger barrier to make sure nothing comes through into Westview. Like, that's it. Drones ain't making their way in anymore. Because of that distraction, then Sparky gets lost. The kids are looking for him. You know, unfortunately, that's when they run into Agnes and the puppy died, which is really sad. In that quick interaction, the kids ask her, well, can't you bring him back? You can fix things. You can bring back the dead. And Wanda's confused, like, wait, what? And how did the kids know that? How do they know that Wanda can potentially bring back the dead? Because we don't know if Vision died and she brought him back. Earlier in the episode, we saw how Director Hayward released a video of Wanda coming in, retrieving Vision's body, because she ended up finding out that they had it. This all goes back to, is Wanda completely responsible for all of this? We'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's when Vision arrives and he sees that the dog is dead. We see Wanda back in the house. Vision comes in and he talks to her. It was the first time I felt like this show might not have a happy ending, that there might not be a resolution that will play in favor of Wanda and Vision. It was very sad to see their interaction because the emotions ran high, and Vision questions Wanda like, hey, I spoke to Norm, free of your control, and he has a family. He wants to see them. And Wanda's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna go to sleep. And Vision confronts him and he's like, what? You're gonna go ahead and change things around? You can't control me the way you control them. And she asked him, can't I? And you see the credits roll, and right there she's trying to avoid the conversation. She's walking into the living room and Vision loses it. I mean, he goes back to his natural self and he's asking her, Wanda, he can't see his family because you won't let him. And Wanda tells him, I don't know what you're talking about. And this is where we kind of have to start asking some questions, right? Because it looks like Wanda is controlling this reality within Westview. Monica makes it clear at the end of the last episode that it's all Wanda. Vision even told her, I would like to believe that subconsciously you didn't know how any of this started, you didn't know what was going on, but you know what's going on now, and it's not right. There's a moment where she sits down on the sofa and she says, I don't even know how any of this started. So yeah, Wanda might be controlling this reality within Westview, but who instigated it? Who put things in her mind to cause her to create this world for herself? Who told her that Sword had Vision? How did she find out about Vision, right? And was that the match that lit the fuse, right? Because she goes into Sword headquarters, retrieves Vision's body, brings brings him back to life, because again, we haven't gotten confirmation that she has brought Vision back. What if Vision is just a manifestation of her subconscious? If you notice, Vision is the one who's always trying to rationalize with her, telling her what the right thing to do. She tries to get Vision to forget things, but he always comes back to realizing, hey, there's something going on. So is Vision a representation of her subconscious? Or is it really Vision? It could be. It would be great if it's Vision. I would hate for him to be dead, but there's something there. We just don't know what. Is it Skrulls? Maybe she went into a town full of Skrulls and they realized, like, holy crap, this is an Avenger. We need to do something. Wanda is a little bit lost on the details, and that's what leads me to believe that she's not fully responsible for what's going on. She may be the creator, she may have been creating this reality and making things happen, but there's someone orchestrating, there's someone pulling the strings. Who could that be? But I will tell you this, what happens next either is a clue as to who's behind all of this, or is it a distraction? Because at that very moment, the doorbell rings and Vision looks at her and she says, that wasn't me, I didn't do that. And Vision tells her, I want to believe you, but at this point, I'm just ignoring statistics altogether. She gets up to answer the door and you see that look on her face. And Vision asks, Wanda, who is this? Pietro showed up. Quicksilver. Not the Aaron Taylor Johnson Quicksilver from Age of Ultron who we saw die. It was Evan Peters Quicksilver, Pietro, from the X-Men Fox movies. In so many levels, this can mean so many things, right? The most obvious one, Wanda's altering reality. Does she pull Pietro from the Fox X-Men universe? Keep in mind that Pietro from those movies was around in the 80s, and this episode took place in the 80s. So it made sense that she pulled something from that same timeline, maybe from another reality, and plug them in here. She did mention that you can bring back the dead. There's no coming back from that. So she wasn't able to bring Pietro back the way we knew him, the way she knew him. But maybe she was able to get Pietro from another reality. That's one theory. But here's theory number 2. Is he a Skrull? No. But here's the other theory. What if this is the eyewitness that Jimmy Woo was looking for? We don't know who that person was. He's still a mystery person of interest, and potentially could have Wanda used that individual to create this Pietro. Yeah, we got the actor Evan Peters who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, like Wonder Woman, the way Steve Trevor was brought back. He came back to life in another man's body. So potentially did Wanda do the same thing with her brother? Did she bring Pietro back, but in the body of another person? It just so happens to be Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies. So that could be some crazy distraction, like to throw us off. I believe that the most obvious answer isn't the exact answer. The simplest answer is that she brought Pietro back from another universe, from another reality. And if that's the case, who else can she potentially bring back? That's what I'm loving about this show, right? The possibilities are endless. It is exciting. I jumped out of my seat when I saw Evan Peters. I thought it was great to see him. He's an awesome actor. If it is Pietro from the X-Men universe, are we going to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine? Are we going to see James McAvoy as Xavier? Are we potentially going to see Magneto? Michael Fassbender would be awesome to have in the MCU. He's such a great actor. Now, my little bonus theory, which I'm hoping goes somewhere, I don't know, I could be totally off, but let me know what you think with this. So Monica Rambeau texts someone and she mentioned that she knew an aerospace engineer. What if that aerospace engineer is none other than Reed Richards? Maybe he's not Mr. Fantastic yet, but maybe he is that aerospace engineer who helps out Monica. What if this is a quick little cameo, a little introduction to Reed Richards of the MCU? It'll be great to see that character before we get to see them in their own movie. So I got really excited when she mentioned that. It could be a little throwaway line, I don't know, but it kind of goes back to, we love to theorize, we love to speculate, we love to think of the ideas and the possibilities of what this show and the other shows to come can bring to the MCU. We know we're gonna get a Fantastic Four movie. What if they've cast someone to play Reed Richards and we got to see a glimpse of that person in WandaVision? And if we don't see it in WandaVision, maybe we see it in the Fantastic Four movie, that Monica Rambeau and Reed Richards knew each other. They got to hang out, have some drinks, I don't know. But again, there's another possibility to how awesome the MCU is and where these stories can go. It can go anywhere. Infinite possibilities, infinite realities. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you get super excited to see Evan Peters at the end of the episode? Leave your comments below. If you agree with my theories, great, I want to hear it. If you don't agree with my theories, tell me your theories. I would love to hear what you have to say. But if you like this video, give a thumbs up. Feel free to share with your friends, family, whoever you feel would enjoy this video. If you want to stay up to date, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and thank you again for watching. Thank you for keeping up with my videos. And until next time, that is a wrap.